White supremacy is not a trend, it's programming. It's literally what the elites need right now to make sure that when the people go hungry, they'll have someone to blame. It's the oldest trick in the book, divide and conquer, and you'll fall for it every... Sydney Sweeney is the latest puppet. I mean, it's obvious she's in Mr. Bezos's pocket, you know, and that's why she has that smug look on her face every time she speaks in that vocal fry she forces.
They don't believe me when I tell them this, but the reason I started posting anti-racist content is because of my experiences with sexual assault. I had two different experiences, once when I was a 14-year-old freshman in high school and another time when I was an 18-year-old freshman in college. And both times I was assaulted, it was a white man from a wealthy family, and I came forward, reported it, and obviously nothing happened, right?
You know what's crazy? The fact that white supremacy is so engulfing of white people, and they don't even realize it at the time, I don't think. White supremacy is so palpable between them that it has white women actively voting against their best interests, against their freedom, against their humanity, in hopes of impressing their husbands.
Okay, this is the question. Is the era of faith truly ending, or is it changing another phase? Because TikTok thinks is the beginning of the end. So why supremacy is losing its grip? Fewer rallies, exposed groups, and social media and crackdown shows a movement in decline. But creators warn that ideologies adapt can hide in memes and coded symbol. While we dive straight into the video, if you're seeing this video for the first time, please do well to hit the like button and subscribe. Tell us what you think about the video in the comment section. Like and share the video to help the channel out.
Instead of getting rage baited, I think it's important for all of us to understand what's really going on in America. Please let me explain. So right now, what we are witnessing is the downfall of what America has always been. America is literally built on top of pain, misery, depression, lies. I could go on, you know? And it's also built on fake power structures, meaning a lot of slave owners and white people who are powerful way back in the day, 1700s, 1600s, 1800s. Back then, they set up this system to where even in 2025, they could still be at the top. Whole time, I'm pretty sure that their ancestors weren't thinking about the fact that things change. And that's the only constant in this world is change. So here we are, where people are finally starting to realize, like, you know what? Other people do deserve some of the things y'all have always been getting. And now they're claiming it's discrimination. People aren't hiring white people. White people are getting the bare minimum. White people are being pushed to the back. Whole time, white people were always in the back. It's just the fact that we were put behind y'all to make it seem like y'all were at the front. Does that make sense? Y'all have never been at the top of anything. But now, since the structure that we already have is set up in your favor, now you want to make America great again because it's unlike what has always been. Like, are y'all following? So now what do people do when they're at the top and they're in jeopardy of falling to the bottom? They do whatever they can to stay at the top, meaning if they have to make people of color fight, if they have to take away SNAP, if they have to cause martial law in our states, they don't care. They just want to stay at the top because that's where they've been. And anyone else that wants to be at the top, it's not going to happen because they want and own the top. So in order for us as the people at the bottom and the people that they see as the bottom to get back to the top, everything that's of now in America has to be dismantled. It has to be. Everything is falling. And that's fine, actually. We need to rebuild it. It's all based on BS. So yeah, it's just a battle of fragile male egos, white supremacy, systemic racism, and yeah, people wanting things to stay the same when things are inherently made to change. So it's only a matter of time before things actually do change and the collective consciousness actually catches up to the reality of where we are. Happy November.
You know what's crazy? The fact that white supremacy is so engulfing of white people, and they don't even realize it at the time, I don't think. White supremacy is so palpable between them that it has white women actively voting against their best interests, against their freedom, against their humanity, in hopes of impressing their husbands, in hopes of impressing their preachers and other male leaders in the community, in hopes of finally being seen as equal to white men. And what's even crazier is they do all of that and it never works in their favor. These white men will never see them as equal. Their womanhood will always keep them as subordinate to white men. And it's just, it's gotta suck to actively vote against the things that give you autonomy because you think that's what you have to do for little Timmy Turner to finally see you as a person. And he never will. Gotta suck.
White supremacy is not a trend, it's programming. It's literally what the elites need right now to make sure that when the people go hungry, they'll have someone to blame. It's the oldest trick in the book, divide and conquer, and you'll fall for it every... Sydney Sweeney is the latest puppet. I mean, it's obvious she's in Mr. Bezos's pocket, you know, and that's why she has that smug look on her face every time she speaks and that vocal fry she forces. So they need a prop for the movement so that the young men that they are literally propagandizing as we speak can have a woman in their dreams to be like, oh, this is something that's attainable for me, even though it very much never would be, could be, is. But nonetheless, it's all a tactic of distraction, of division, so that we don't realize the people that are actually fucking us. And celebrities, I'm thankful y'all are finally seeing it, because with the Mariah Carey mess, like, yeah, she was the queen of Christmas, but now y'all, it's in the shit that the advertisements and everything, like, they are making fun of us. They don't take us serious. So canceling Christmas and all the holidays is it's okay. Let's talk about holidays anyways. Like, what is the real meaning of any holiday? Buy your person shit. Whether it's a birthday or Mother's Day or a Valentine's Day or Christmas or whatever, you go buy shit for that person because you love them. That's what we do out of love. You see how the corporations, it's been what holidays were made for. It's not because, oh, I care about you and I want to acknowledge that the people should have this day to show love. Are you stupid? It's because the companies need money. Every season they need more money. Once you realize they've literally oriented our whole existence around spending money and being consumers, you'll start to realize why they do anything to us. Like, it's really frustrating, actually. Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Sydney Sweeney, latest poster child. It's in the literature. It's in the movies. It's in the regurgitations they keep selling. Like, the common message, the common trend that they're promoting. And by the way, I did see news about the bot farm, but I fear some of y'all are becoming the TikTok aunties we warned about on Facebook and them, you know? It's because I tried to find any credible article that talks about that bot farm being about Trump, whatever, and I couldn't find anything. So someone please point me in that direction, by the way. We gotta be careful where we're getting our information from. Just be mindful and take a second to critically think. The internet doesn't encourage that anymore. You gotta do it for yourself. Critically think, where am I getting this information? Do I have a second source, a third source? Do I know for sure this is true? Because I'll be questioning everything nowadays. And that's the least you can do, because again, it's programming. They're trying to get our attention here when it really should be here. Right here on what's happening here and now. People are starving. They shut down the government and now people are starving. And we're still paying taxes and we're still going to work. They expected those workers who weren't getting paid to go to work. And now the airport's full and we haven't even at the holiday season yet. Fuck y'all, fuck this.
White supremacy and racism rely on black sympathy. Think about it, they brutalize us, criminalize us, talk down on us. And then the second that something happens to them, we are expected to be the bigger person, to have compassion, to forgive, to pray, right? But tell me where in the fuck that same sympathy is when a black man is unalive and then called a thug and the media talked about his past transgressions. in an effort to dehumanize him or her. When we protest, they call us violent. When we grieving, they tell us to get the fuck over it. But let one of their champions, quote unquote, fall. Somehow, we're the heartless ones because we're not crying and grieving with them. That's not empathy, that's manipulation. And that is how white supremacy survives. By demanding our humanity while denying theirs to us. So no, we do not owe sympathy or empathy to anybody whose platform was completely based on the oppression of us. Black compassion should not be the fuel that keeps white supremacy alive. And we need to stop expecting Black pain to come with Black sympathy.
People don't believe me when I tell them this, but the reason I started posting anti-racist content is because of my experiences with sexual assault. I had two different experiences, once when I was a 14-year-old freshman in high school and another time when I was an 18-year-old freshman in college. And both times I was assaulted, it was a white man from a wealthy family, and I came forward, reported it, and obviously nothing happened, right? So in the aftermath of everything, I was trying to make sense of how could this system that I believed in fail me, and just feeling so isolated, alone, and angry. So I started researching feminist content and how to hold these men accountable. And that was when I started college as well. So at Brown, I was learning a lot about race, class, and other social issues around the world. And so between my independent research and what I was learning in class, I realized that my experience was not unique in any way, shape, or form. And in fact, it is an inevitable product of a corrupt system. And to me, you can't promote women's rights without also promoting the equality and freedom of Black and brown people worldwide, or the freedom of trans, indigenous, queer people, because every single struggle is intimately connected. And just like the system failed me when I was too young to protect myself and needed somebody there, it fails plenty of other people too in different ways.
Okay, white people, let's talk about it again. Let's keep talking about white supremacy and accountability. The reason why I want to have conversations with white people about white supremacy is not because I want people to carry this massive load of white guilt, or because I think every single white person alive is racist. I don't think that. I want to have these conversations because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And I truly believe that it's our responsibility as white people who hold the privilege to dismantle the systems that we benefit from that harm others. So I made a video the other day talking about taking accountability as white people for our own history of violence and confronting ourselves and confronting the systems that we built that exist in this country today that have vastly different health outcomes and behavioral outcomes for different people. And pretty predictably, a lot of the responses that I got from white people were avoidant, dismissive, in denial, and pretty much unwilling to confront the reality of how our country operates and how that impacts people who are not white, straight people. I had a lot of people saying, well, I didn't build it, and I treat everybody the way that I would want to be treated, so it's not on me, and why do all of us white people have to be ashamed of being white, and color doesn't matter, and you are furthering a divide between races or just between different demographics of people that shouldn't exist by talking about this. And something that I learned actually from volunteering in prisons with incarcerated men and women is the concept of radical accountability. So accountability, I think is pretty obvious. Most people think accountability is taking responsibility for your own actions and how they impact other people, and acknowledging any wrongdoing that you've done and committing not to repeat those actions. But what I have observed and learned from the incarcerated men that I've volunteered with that are very, very committed to their paths of bettering themselves and contributing positively to the world is that radical accountability goes beyond just the individual and their own actions. It extends out to how they interact with their communities, what they want to offer their communities, and what they really want to contribute to the world that they want to help build. So the response that I heard about, well, it isn't me, when you shift your perspective, Radical accountability is about looking at your surroundings, looking at your environment, looking at the community around you, and considering it partially your responsibility to uplift that community. Do I think one person can change the entire world completely on their own? No, but I think if a lot of us embraced the idea of radical accountability and looked out into our communities and decided to take on the perspective that our communities are our responsibility and the health and happiness and stability of our communities is our responsibility, then I think our world would look a lot different than it does. So in speaking with white people, that is the point of confronting each other and ourselves about whiteness, about white supremacy, about white violence, because you just there's no way to deny it. It's undeniable that white supremacy exists and is alive and thriving in this country. Trey Reed was found hanging from a tree, and his case was immediately dismissed as suicide. Second autopsy, and we're hearing a very different story, which is completely unsurprising. ICE agents walking around, shoving people to the floor, separating families, brutalizing people, brown people, vast majority of the time, without repercussions, without consequences, without even having to show their faces or their names. So, white people, when we think about the culture of white supremacy, white violence, and the history of that and how it persists today, culturally, the fact that you just exist as a white person means that you are contributing to the culture of whiteness somehow. Just like every single person on planet Earth contributes to the culture that exists in their communities. Your existence contributes to some sort of dynamics that exist in this world. You could be contributing aggressive, intense racism, using slurs, degrading people, making people's lives hard, demonizing people. You could be contributing to that culture by engaging in it. You could be fighting hard with your activism against that culture and trying to use your voice for good, trying to donate your money, your time, your energy, picking up books and reading, listening to conversations with people that don't look like you, did not grow up like you, and have insight that is really important for you to learn. Or you could be in denial and just ignoring everything. You could be afraid and avoidant. You could live your life without going anywhere near this subject matter because that's more comfortable and that's easier. But that also is contributing to a culture and a dynamic. So no matter what you're choosing to do, no matter how you exist, you are contributing to the dynamics that exist in the world in one way or the other. And the question is, how do you want to contribute? Who do you want to be? Racism and bigotry isn't just about using slurs or dehumanizing people to their face. It's about the systems that exist in this country that make some people's lives better and that benefit some people, but harm others. So white people, it's important for us to talk about white supremacy and to educate ourselves about how the systems in our country operate and the outcomes that people face as a direct result of how these systems operate. Nothing changes if nothing changes, and I hope lots of people are having these conversations. I hear it sometimes, but I don't hear it enough, and I want to be somebody that engages in these conversations. I think it's so important now more than ever for us to be using our voices and to be finding ways to connect and communicate about how our country actually runs, the reality of life for people in this country, and how do we contribute to that, and what is our responsibility. And I think we all have a responsibility to each other to make this place safer, because if what everybody says that they want is safety, but your neighbor is constantly unsafe, you are not safe. Safety is about the stability of a community. It's about how we treat each other. It's about what we offer each other. It's about generosity. It's about humanizing each other. It's about seeing the needs that people have, the very real, intense needs that people have, and deciding that it is our responsibility to meet those needs, to get people on stable ground so that all of us can experience safety and stability. Nobody will ever be able to convince me that we are going to reach a state of harmony and safety and kindness and generosity and equality in this country if we don't take accountability, address each other, confront ourselves, and decide that all of us have a responsibility to create the world that we want to live in. It isn't productive to just continue blaming generations past for all of our issues and remaining in denial about what still exists today. So, white people, let's keep talking about it. Love you.
Okay, the era of hate can be ending, but the era of hidden hate might be starting. That's the point. The era, get me clear, the era of hate might be ending as the white supremacy is falling, but the era of hidden hate might be starting, in the sense that some black and brown creators argue that it is not about them losing, it is about us winning. They say that the victory lies in representation and justice, change, education, and the strength to carry all the black communities along. We really thank you for watching this video, and like I said before, if you're seeing this video for the first time, please do well to hit the like button and subscribe. Tell us what you think about this video in the comment section so that more videos like this will pop up your screen. Like and share the video to help the channel out.